All right, so let's talk about this story. This is a really troubling story out of Ukraine. Once again, we don't have enough Ukraine stories in the show today, but U.S. troops reported now being on the ground. Now, we've been talking about this for weeks here on the show, that there are U.S. troops, or we suspected U.S. troops there in Ukraine driving or pulling the strings of the puppets and the puppet masters, so to speak. Well, now we have confirmation of this. And further confirmation, in fact, that they're not just there sort of passively hanging out, taking orders from Ukrainians. No, it's quite the other way around. According to journalists, it is U.S. troops in Ukraine, boots on the ground, something we were told would not happen, which would lead to World War III. Remember President Biden's own words. They are there leading Ukrainian forces and calling the shots on the battlefield.
Well, this comes from a journalist who embedded with 3 French volunteers who had military experience when Ukraine called for anyone to come and help them defend their nation. 3 Frenchmen traveled to Ukraine, went there, and were stopped at the border by Americans who said, actually, we're in charge here. We'll decide where you go. You answer to us. And there is, in fact, video.
Yeah, so let's listen to the French. This is subtitled, so please take a look and view this closely on your screen. Watch what this French reporter is saying.
Unless you speak French, then just listen in.
Yeah, hey, I guess, if you speak French, you're fluent in French, and you can understand this. But this is a reporter writing for a French publication and being interviewed about this on French media. Listen to his assessment.
Et j'ai accompagné des volontaires français. C'est-à-dire que vous savez, il y a un certain nombre. Il y a eu un appel au début du président Zelensky qui a demandé à des volontaires internationaux qui souhaitaient, qui avaient des expériences de combat. Et donc j'ai accompagné 3 Français, dont un qui a déjà été militaire avant, et 2 qui avaient combattu ensemble au Rojava avec les Kurdes contre Daesh. Donc des gens qui avaient des expériences militaires. J'ai passé plusieurs jours avec eux et j'ai eu la surprise et eux aussi de découvrir in fine que pour pouvoir aller dans l'armée ukrainienne, eh bien c'est les Américains qui sont à la manœuvre. C'est-à-dire que nous, on a failli se faire arrêter. On a été confronté à un Américain qui est venu nous dire « Ici, c'est moi qui commande ». C'est pas les Ukrainiens qui commandent, c'est moi qui commande. Je parle de la formation et de l'enrôlement dans l'armée ukrainienne de volontaires internationaux. Voilà. Le type a même donné son nom. C'est un ancien de la guerre d'Irak. J'ai fait mes vérifications. C'est un reportage qu'on peut retrouver dans le Figaro Magazine.
I mean,
well, now they're calling this okay, but it's a secret war, right? So there are also similar reports about soldiers from the United Kingdom, and they're saying, well, and I think media strategists are saying Vladimir Putin knows your secret, right? He's known for a long time because the Russians can hack everything. So there is no...
Yeah, we've been saying this for a long time. This is a freaking proxy war, right? I mean, that's what all of this is. This is a proxy war that Ukrainians are not doing this on their own. The United States is sending as many freaking weapons as they possibly can here to prop this up.
I'm not really clear what you mean by that, a proxy war. I mean, like, we support it without supporting it.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I'm just not clear on the way the term is used.
Right. Like, we don't have to claim that it's our war, right? It's a war by proxy. So we get to
blame Russia.
We get to blame Russia. We get to not actually physically be there, but we get to Ukraine gets to do our bidding.
But I think what we're proving here is that's not a proxy war. If we're there, we're there.
Well, I guess but officially, we're not there.
We're not officially.
And we don't have the big video ceremonies where all of these troops are leaving Dover, Delaware, and they're flying off in those massive
But the
aircraft.
only reason that we're doing that is because Congress would have to approve it. And Americans don't support it. So Americans would be upset at their elected officials for voting for it, even though they are, in fact, voting for it with their actions.
I mean, they get their war, they get their cake, and they get to eat it. They get their cake and they get to eat it too. So they get their war, they get to, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, they get to make as much money as possible off of this war. But they don't have to we don't have to physically declare it a war.
Right.
We get to basically use Ukrainians as cannon fodder for our bidding.
Yeah.
Well, and you've propagandized the United States people that they're putting Ukrainian flags on their profiles in full support of it because Russia's bad.
Right. And you also don't have to then take extra care of the soldiers who fought in those areas. If it was not declared a combat zone, then they don't get extra benefits when they finally get to retirement. So it saves us money to not declare those things actual wars.
I mean, it's really, really troubling. I mean, and you have Lloyd Austin, by the way. This is amazing. Like Lloyd Austin sitting there. Here's from Fox News. U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin speaks to Ukrainian soldiers training on Switchblade drones in Biloxi, Mississippi, before they return today to defend their country. Like, the Secretary of Defense is helping Ukrainian soldiers with their training on Switchblade drones.
Okay.
Is he a Switchblade drone operator?
No,
he's the head of the Pentagon.
I sure hope not. That he's using like stuff that looks like he got it at like Staples. Like, can we get this guy? Look at that. He's got like
his mouse
little,
and
like,
keyboard
webcam.
are nowhere near him, which means somebody started that thing for him.
Like some little Photoshop.
I was wondering if that is a smart keypad, but no, it's just paper.
It's just notes. Yeah. Like he's just reading off of a prepared
His
remarks.
pen isn't even close.
But as this French reporter says, Boris Johnson's visit to Kyiv confirms London's place as Ukraine's first ally. Elite SAS special forces have been present in Ukraine since the beginning of the war, as have armed American Delta Force, confides a French intelligence source. Yes, they're there. They're running the show. They're calling the shots.
I'm sorry, my ignorance. Delta Force then is enlisted active military. They're not contractors.
Right. Delta Force is like one of the best in the United States.
Okay.
Well, and we saw the
Delta
videos
Force, Green Berets.
Of those people there. We knew they were there, and it's like, you got to know that if they're there, there's more there than, like, they're not going to send like 5 guys.
No. Sorry. I thought we went offline again, and I was trying to be careful. So I stopped, but we're here. Gotcha.
Yeah. Can you say that again?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Yeah, whoever was just speaking.
We lost you guys? I was saying that we saw the videos of us having special forces there already. And it's like, we know that they're not just going to send 5-10 guys there. They're going to send, a bunch of people. They were training soldiers, all this other stuff. So we've been there. And make no mistake, we've probably been there for a long time.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, but the videos we had showed, though, were sort of like volunteers, were essentially like mercenaries.
Before that, the volunteers, we showed actual footage of soldiers that were there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's the case.